Borders limit civic responsibility, but the needs of human beings don't always follow those limitations. Ventura County has done an exemplary job of filling some of those gaps. Unfortunately, it's still a long way to what should be in place. In LA County, for example, there are also lots of bus lines from various municipalities, but most of these lines overlap and interconnect. If you can't get there on an MTA bus, maybe there's a Montebello bus or a Foothill bus that serves that street, even in the city of LA.
There are some reasons why economy of scale makes sense. It makes sense for Port Hueneme and Oxnard and Ventura, which are very close together geographically, to run a bus system together. It makes no sense for that to be connected with Camarillo, for example. Again, Camarillo would get little service. It's one of the reasons how VCTC became the designated recipient, because originally Thousand Oaks and Camarillo were part of the SCAT. SCAT was the designated recipient, and neither of those communities got anything. So we had to do all their work for them. Thousand Oaks, for example, subsidizes the TDA money to a greater extent than most jurisdictions would, because their council recognizes that they need public transit. If they were under one big system, they would cut out all the routes in Thousand Oaks because they don't meet the economic tests for being a worthwhile bus to run. But their city recognizes there's a need, so they're paying for it anyway. So those are local jurisdiction choices that they are making. And if you would bring them all together, you would be down to the lowest common denominator. That's one of the reasons why Santa Paula dropped out of the Gold Coast system, because under Santa Paula they had 2 buses running in the community, and very small streets, 2 buses that came in, and half the town couldn't get to the 2 buses. Now they have a dial-a-ride that goes everywhere, that does much better in terms of fare box recovery than it ever did under the old SCAT system, with a lot more convenient service and buses that run 7 days a week. And the issues usually are that the elected officials of that jurisdiction know what kind of public transit they want, and very often they pay for more public transit than if they were under state regulations they would get otherwise.
How could it be efficient to have a multi-passenger bus going around for single-passenger trips?
This is a van that we're talking about. It's a 15-passenger van, 12 to 15-passenger van, and it doesn't go to single-passenger trips. It's carrying 7 or 8 passengers per hour in the van, and it's making multiple stops and dropping people off. So it could be a single trip if nobody were on the van during that particular time of the day. But as a general rule, that's absolutely not the case. The vans always have people on them, and they're fairly crowded. But it doesn't make sense to try to serve some of these areas which have a fairly low density that are in the middle of no place with a big bus, a 50-foot bus. So the little vans make a whole lot more sense. And what they do in the communities out there, and similarly with the dial-a-ride in Camarillo, is they pick up people around their community and they take them to a main drop-off point if they're going outside the community. So the dial-a-rides in Santa Paula and Fillmore. In Santa Paula, there's 2 drop-off points, one at the Kmart and the other at City Hall. And they're fairly large bus stops there, and that's where they catch the 126 mainline bus if they're going to Ventura, Oxnard, or Gold Coast, or any place else, or Santa Barbara. But the stuff that goes on in the daytime takes people to the doctor, takes them to social services, takes them to the hospital, anywhere they want to go. And it works pretty efficiently. And same situation in Fillmore, and again, the same situation in Camarillo. It's called a general public dial-a-ride. Most of the dial-a-rides that you're used to are elderly and handicapped dial-a-rides, and we have an increasing need for that. We don't have as much of an increasing need for them in Camarillo or Fillmore or Santa Paula, because they have a general public dial-a-ride that's doing the same thing.